What is going on, YouTube? Stone Chef 17 coming at you live. What is going on this day before Thanksgiving? Day of celebration of raping and pillaging and killing my ancestors. Now you understand why I don't celebrate Thanksgiving Day. When my ex-wife was around and I was still married, tried to make it a family thing. I tried to take that other route. It didn't work. Oh, but I have gone back to my personal ways and having a normal evening alone at home with my dog and my paintings. But I thought we'd have a little bit of a conversation about what all was going on, not just in the United States, but throughout the world. Just kind of touch on a few topics. So, let's start with Saudi Arabia. The CIA has determined that the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia ordered the death and killing of Khashoggi, who was a U.S. resident. I believe he worked for the Washington Post. It's fucked up is what it is. There's just no other real way of putting it. There are other things that could be said, but I personally, I don't. Okay, so to give you an understanding of my thought process, the man who's supposed to be one of the most powerful figures in the world, thinks that as long as you spend, a few $100 billion with us, you should be able to get away with murder. And that should be wrong on anybody's account. But unfortunately, the man who's at the highest office, unfortunately, Don, is fucking up everything that this country has worked hundreds of years to build. It's a very sad time. There should never ever be any reason why any president should ever be willing to accept as a good reason why an American was killed on foreign soil. That just, I can't think of one president who has just been cool with that and gone along with that, That's not something I'm familiar with. It's, let's check out, the Google feed. Dallas apartment fire forces residents to jump from third-story window. Whoa. Being from Dallas, I actually care about what's going on there. Huh. Let's see, tomorrow, we've got the Redskins at the Cowboys. The irony of this. Redskins at Cowboys tomorrow. Let's see. Rebuking Trump's criticism of Obama judge, Chief Justice Roberts defends judiciary. So that's another thing that we need to think about with this piece of shit that's in office. He thinks that justices take sides. Justices become justices because they're unbiased. That's one of the qualifications of being one of the Chief Justice judges. You have to be unbiased. So there's no such thing as Obama judge or Clinton judge or Bush judge or fucking Don people, whatever. There's no such thing. That's not how shit's supposed to work, okay? Prog metal drummers playing with Five Finger Death Punch. CNN's Cuomo, Thanksgiving happening at exactly the right time. Okay. There is no Bitcoin. What the SEC doesn't get about cryptocurrency. Joe Rogan. NASA will be conducting a review of SpaceX's workplace culture because Elon Musk smoked weed and drank whiskey with Joe Rogan. They're still going on about that shit. That was like a couple of months ago. I need to get off that shit. Cindy Hyde-Smith touts work with imaginary GOP senator, mixes up election date and disastrous debate. Google Assistant iOS update lets you say, "Hey Siri, okay Google." These 10 used cars retain their value the best. Satanic Temple settles Chilling Adventures of Sabrina lawsuit against Netflix. Ion Drive meets drone. Thank you for calling Green Energy. How can I help you this evening? We're open till 11 o'clock for delivery. Yes. Unfortunately, San Diego does not allow any dispensaries to be open after 9 p.m. No problem. So, as I was saying, Ion Drive meets drone as a plane flies with no moving parts. It was developed evidently at MIT. Interesting. Colorado loses to San Diego on the road. How many times is not interested in fucking college sports? So that's all we got. Actually, let's check for more stories. See what else is going on. Study reveals one of universe's secret ingredients for life. A hidden radioactive heat source seems to be melting East Antarctica from below. Huh. Rudy Giuliani tells CNN that Mueller is not done with seeking answers from Trump. That's good. Not like the motherfucker's gonna be honest anyways. U.S. Air Force conducts first ever F-35 jet elephant walk. Again, just a fucking show of force. It's bad. Romaine lettuce recall. Oh, E. coli outbreak likely came from California, FDA says. So don't eat romaine lettuce this season. Why aren't you listening to Ringo Starr's country album from 1970? Because I was never a fan of the Beatles. I realize some of you are gonna fucking go ape shit over that. Just never been a fan of the Beatles. There's like maybe 2 or 3 songs that they've made that I'll sing along to or halfway like. Neil deGrasse Tyson says Elon Musk will transform civilization as we know it. Volbeat streams pro shot footage of new song The Everlasting from coming live album. That I gotta check out. Bundled constitutional amendments targeted a new bill. Leaning Tower of Pisa loses some of its tilt. What? The Leaning Tower of Pisa has slowly started to find its name, losing 4 centimeters of its tilt over the past 17 years. Oh my God! The movement, roughly 1.5 inches in 17 years, comes after extensive consolidation work done between 1993 and 2001, which was required to reverse its slump and keep the tower upright. It means the building in Tuscany, which attracts thousands of tourists every day, is back to the tilt it had at the beginning of the 19th century, according to Professor Salvatore Settis, who leads the surveillance group of the monument. The reduction of the tilt will not last forever, but it's very significant, and now we have good reasons to hope that the tower can last for at least another 200 years, Settis told CNN. When corrective work went on the tower, it was leaning 6 degrees, or 13 feet, off the perpendicular on its south side. Soil was removed on the opposite side in order to reverse its trajectory. Technically, it has been an incredibly complex work, but the concept of the project is easy to understand, Settis said. The tower is leaning towards the south, so part of the soil under the northern side, basically sand and clay, was eliminated, creating cavities that the weight of the tower is now closing. The operation forced the closure of the tower to visitors for nearly a decade. It was reopened in late 2001. Pisa's most famous landmark began sinking into its surroundings almost immediately after being erected. Construction in the tower started in 1163 in the then seafaring Republic of Pisa, but the sandy soil meant it quickly began its tilt. This latest measurement shows the good health of the monument, according to Gianluca Di Felice, director of the Opera della Prima Ziale Pisana, the institution in charge of the complex monuments on the Square of Miracles. We can express cautious optimism, Di Felice said. The tower is constantly monitored and the data are examined by a surveillance committee, which meets every 3 months. Oh, that was good. John Oliver spoofed the Fast and Furious with Army Hammer and Wax Presidents and Russell Crowe, his jockstrap that he used in Cinderella Man. Let's see. Cluttering the Space Commons, upcoming SpaceX launch irks orbital debris experts. Court ordered corrective statements to appear on cigarette boxes. Cigarette boxes sold across the United States will soon display a new court-ordered accessory. Starting Wednesday, tobacco brands have been ordered to put corrective statements on product packaging that clearly state the harmful effects of smoking, according to court documents. The order follows a long and rocky road of litigation against the tobacco industry. It comes as a result of a 1999 lawsuit that the U.S. Department of Justice filed against the country's largest cigarette manufacturers and tobacco trade organizations, claiming civil fraud and racketeering violations over the course of more than 50 years. In 2006, federal judge Gladys Kessler ruled that the tobacco industry had violated civil racketeering laws and ordered companies to issue corrective statements on their packaging on company websites and in print and television ads. Last year, as part of the court order, tobacco companies launched corrective statement ads across primetime television and in newspapers detailing smoking's harms. Under court order, the ads were paid for by the tobacco companies Philip Morris USA, Lorillard, R.J. Reynolds Tobacco Company, and Altria Group. Now the statements will appear directly on cigarette packaging. Corrective statements are essentially geared towards preventing and restraining future harm, said Mary Ruvelas, senior counsel for the American Cancer Society Cancer Action Network, which, along with the American Heart Association, the American Lung Association, the Tobacco Free Kids Action Fund, the National African American Tobacco Prevention Network, and Americans for Non-Smokers' Rights, was involved in the case to ensure that public health interests were presented to the court. Once they start shipping, they will appear in the retailers between 2 days and 2 weeks after, depending on how much volume that retailer goes through, she said. Oh, excuse me. A court document with a mock-up of the statement shows them stating, a federal court has ordered R.J. Reynolds Tobacco, Philip Morris USA, Altria, and Lorillard to make the statement about the addictiveness of smoking and nicotine. The statements go on to note that smoking is highly addictive, that it's not easy to quit, that nicotine usually actually changes the brain, and that all cigarettes can cause cancer, lung disease, and heart attacks, among other implications. We are at a point where 480,000 people a year die from tobacco use, Ruvelas said, referencing data from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. In a statement Monday, R.J. Reynolds confirmed that these cigarette package onslaughts are the next phase of the court-ordered corrective statements and will be on all brands of R.J. Reynolds Tobacco Company cigarettes during 2 6-week periods over a 2-year span. R.J. Reynolds will continue to fully meet its obligations under this order as part of its commitment of being a responsible company, the statement said. Altria, which owns the maker of Marlboro cigarettes, issued a statement last year in response to the court order. This industry has changed dramatically over the last 20 years, including becoming regulated by the FDA, which we supported. Murray Garnick, Altria's executive vice president and general counsel, said in the statement, "We're focused on the future and with FDA in place, working to develop less risky tobacco products," Garnick said. "We remain committed to aligning our business practices with society's expectations of a responsible company. This includes communicating openly about the health effects of our products, continuing to support cessation efforts, helping reduce underage tobacco use, and developing potentially reduced risk products." What the fuck? I really don't know why I'm reading this, but Jaden Smith doubles down on Tyler, the Creator, boyfriend claim. I don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. I don't know if... I thought Jaden Smith was gay anyways. I mean, look at him. Fans have been trying to figure out whether rappers Jaden Smith and Tyler, the Creator, are a couple. It all began when Smith, who is the son of actors Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith, said during a concert that Tyler, the Creator, is my fucking boyfriend. Tyler doesn't want to say, but Tyler's my motherfucking boyfriend, Smith said in a not suitable for work video that has gone viral. And he's been my motherfucking boyfriend my whole fucking life. That's apparently what he said. Because Smith appeared to be laughing when he said it, and Tyler is shown shaking his head and waving his hand as if to say it wasn't true, there's been speculation that Smith was joking or meant Tyler is his boy, who is a friend. But during a recent appearance on Apple Music's Beats One radio, he reiterated what he said. "I recently said that Tyler, the Creator, is my boyfriend, and that's true," Smith said. "So, just so you know." Naturally, Twitter is dying to know the truth. "I can't tell if Jaden Smith is trolling about going out with Tyler, the Creator, but if it's legit, then I'm jealous," one person tweeted. CNN has reached out to reps for both artists for comment. None responded. Oh yeah, that's a story that wants me to go from fucking page to page. I don't do that shit. American missionary allegedly killed by endangered tribe living on a remote Indian island. Okay, if you're from any fucking country and you know that there's an island that has no contact with the modern world, don't go there unless you got a fuck ton of people with you with a bunch of guns. You know, to protect you, keep you from being killed. Like what happened. Crystal City woman wins $1 million on slot machines off $3 bet. Good for her. Robert De Niro and Grace Hightower separate. Who cares? I need another beer. I'll be right back. So that's what's going on in the world. I'm gonna get back to my Top Gear. Um, yeah, thanks for letting me ramble on, and yeah, y'all have a good night. Peace.